Strickland is fighting Saturday. Am I right on that? Do I have the timing?
Yeah,
right?
this weekend it's pretty. I don't know. Look kind of like a stinker of a card. Honestly, it's the Canadian card, which I think Dana feeds them shit and they just eat it. Even Sean was like
a mushroom.
Yeah, Sean's fighting Duplessis. Sean did a very good job, I thought, this weekend on the mic. You know, at the actual pressers. First and foremost, some guy baited him. He's like, "Hey, I'm a like Trudeau voting gay ally. You've said awful things. Go."
Yeah, it's true. But then he was crying about his dad a week ago.
He was
crying about his dad a week ago, and then he was like, "If I had a gay son, it was weird." It's like
very hypocritical. Yeah, of course. But all that being said, looking forward to the fight. I guess I will not be paying for this one. This is a pretty real stinker. The next few cards though are crazy. You know, Max Holloway's fighting Gaethje at 300, and Jim Miller. Fucking Jim Miller fought at UFC 100, UFC 200. He won this last weekend at 40 something, and he's like, you know what? UFC 300 too, Dana White, and Dana's like, yep, you're set up. You're fighting Bobby Green, UFC 300, 1, 2, and 3. Dude, it's so cool to see someone like he's of Joe's era. He's from Joe Lozon's era. They fought in one of the greatest. I think it was named Fight of the Year when Jim Miller fought Joe Lozon. It's the bloody mat thing, and. Here he is still not just competing, but winning. I don't know how many in a row he's won. It's a few.
Were you talking about the Strickland fight? I'm kind of looking.
Oh yeah. Just everything.
I'm rooting for DDP, but I think he's the underdog, and Strickland's favored to win. That's what I saw.
That surprised me.
I'm sure.
Bet DDP. All right, I'm having that Tony Soprano. Come. Bet on the Jets. We can't lose, come. You don't understand. My cousin knows the chiropractor. He's got a fractured elbow, come. We can't lose. Dude, betting DDP is the way here. Look, I love Sean Strickland. I want him to win. But DDP is going to grab him, throw him down, and TKO him by round 4.
Has Sean Strickland fought a good grappler?
I'm
not sure either, right? Like to me,
I'm a UFC fan, but going through people's pedigree is hard for me.
It's like he fought nobodies. He didn't deserve the title shot, for lack of better phrasing, and then he did deserve it because he won. So scratch that. And now I'm like, oh, shucks, but what tests has he gone through on the way to the belt?
DDP went through Sean Strickland a few months ago, and that's all not Sean Strickland. Who's our boy? The Kiwi,
Robert Whitaker.
Robert Whitaker. Yeah, I can see him. I can see like his facial hair and his like shortcut hair, but I can't fucking process his name. But that guy, I always thought is like the man to beat, and if you can get through him, like you deserve a title shot. I think DDP wins this easily, unfortunately. Which because I do love the train wreck that Sean Strickland on the microphone, and when he's wearing that belt, he gets a little more microphone time than he normally would, and I think I like that.
He does, yeah. I somehow don't like Sean Strickland, but I do like him on my TV. He's interesting, and I don't know who's going to win. DDP has typically cardio issues, but he got that nose job, and apparently it's fixed his cardio. He had to breathe through his mouth from like the opening minute. And that's fixed now.
I know that.
They're like, look at him. He's huffing and puffing. He's like, my nose doesn't work, you assholes.
Yeah. There are a few like legendary characters, and I don't know, like C-level Kane and motivated BJ Penn, and I forget what they call DDP, but like sinus Duplessis or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's offensive. That's something he can't control, and I don't like it.
Well, he got the surgery.
He had the surgery, so now he can breathe through his nose, and apparently it's done wonders for his cardio. But if you look at his history, this is a guy who can barely make it through the 3rd round in a 5-round fight. If Strickland drags into deep water, we got problems. But is his history even relevant now that his nose works? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Does the UFC have a star problem? Because in 2 years, everybody's gone that we care about other than Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley's like the last great white hope, and he pulls real. Look, his numbers are poor. Across, like his social media stuff, his YouTube stuff does well, but his pay-per-view numbers are apparently like.
What about Patty? Isn't he really good at social media?
So that guy's like a journeyman. He's never going to be a top 10 guy. Probably he's not a good fighter. He has plenty of fans, but he's not going to be a star.
Fighting isn't about skill on some level. It's about drumming up attention.
But at some point you progress. Every time you win, you fight a better guy. They can't get around that. Patty's going to fight a guy who's going to kill him next fight or the next one after that. It's just going to happen. It's just gonna happen, and he doesn't have a massive.
I mean, they
he's
finagle stuff in fights all the time, right? Where they'll be like, "Oh, we know that this guy who's really popular."
They might keep you away from a wrestler. They might keep you away from a wrestler, but you still got to go fight a good striker. Like he's going to get smoked at some point. But my point is sound. We're out of stars. The Gaethjes, the Holloways, they've got like a year or two left in them.
So
like
my
Holloway's
question
about
is,
to get retired this week.
Aren't we always out of stars? Like I could go back a couple years and say Connor's about to leave, and I don't know, Lozon, and who were the stars from 3-4 years ago? Who's the Cuban science experiment? Yoel Romero.
Yoel Romero. All those
honestly,
guys
the fact that you had to ask that right there is in favor of your argument here, that the shift change is so quick in this sport compared to others that there will be a new crop.
I'm not talking about champions. I'm talking about stars. There's only been a couple of them, and they're all gone. They're all going to be gone in 2 years. The people who have ever had approaching 1 million pay-per-view numbers, the people who get 500,000 pay-per-view numbers, they're all gone. The Ronda Rouseys, the Brock Lesnar's, they're not coming back. The Conor McGregor's has one left in him. Gaethje's on the end of his career. Poirier's on the end of his career. Holloway's on the end of his career.
Covington,
Adesanya is approaching the end of his career.
Colby Covington.
John Jones is one more in him. Colby Covington is not a star. He's got one more fight. It'll be a grudge hate fight, and that'll be it. Like
Sean Strickland, is he like it? He's nearing the end.
Sean Strickland's not a real star either. Like none of these people are pulling those numbers I'm talking about. Like 500,000 pay-per-views. No one is doing that except for
I don't know. On one hand, pay-per-view numbers are hard to measure because we're in this era now where you have to have an ESPN subscription to buy the pay-per-view, and that's crushed numbers. People don't buy pay-per-views back like they did when you could just buy it. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. It's hard to compare current ones to old ones. What Kyle's saying is true. Like all the stars are about to leave, but I feel like the UFC's perpetually been in that situation since Chuck Liddell, and there's some new star that they managed to create.
So but if you want to buy, like I don't know who it is. Like we should know who they are now. We should see someone like Sean O'Malley is you see like how long has Triple C or whatever Henry Cejudo trying to be something that people will pay to see? So hard he's been trying. He will never get there. You know he will never get there. You don't care, do you? Who he fights next? I don't. I won't pay money to see him fight. If they really locked down the streams and the only way to see Henry Cejudo fight to be champ was to pay $80, no fucking way. However, if you told me it's John Jones' final fight, the only way you can watch him take on Stipe to unify is to pay. I would pay. Like that guy's a star. Gaethje, if they brought back Khabib and had him fight anybody, again, I would pay. That guy's a fucking star. George St. Pierre, same thing. If they bring GSP back and try to give him another belt, make him fight Conor McGregor or something in insanity mode, I'll pay. But Sean O'Malley,
actually, you sold me on that. I want to see that. GSP versus Conor. And at first I was like, oh, they're wildly different sizes. No, Conor's big now.
Yeah. I like freak fights. I wish they'd throw a few. Dana's been hinting that there's some top secret shit. Maybe he meant the Gaethje Holloway bad motherfucker belt. Maybe that was his top secret thing. But I'm praying that it's Khabib because Khabib's coach was like, Khabib only trains with me when he's getting ready for a fight, and he's training with me. Wink, wink, nod, nod. And I'm like, oh my God, who would Khabib come back for? Is he coming back for 170-pound belt to be champ 30-0? Because I'm here for that. Let him fight Leon Edwards. Push Bilal back to the end of the line again. Fuck Bilal.
So I'm a Khabib fan, and part of me is like, don't put that at risk. Don't put that. But you're going to get your ass kicked by Leon Edwards? You sure you want this? I don't know how old Khabib is either. No, he'll be rusty.
I don't know. I like to imagine him like Master Yoda, just always training,
right?
And like getting better.
And his style might be good against Leon Edwards.
Oh, by the way, I thought of who the next star is Bo Nickel. If Bo Nickel continues his trajectory, he's the fucking man because he's a white, blonde-haired, like all-American fucking wrestler, like thought of as like the wrestler of his generation. And he's, I don't know, 4-0, 5-0.
I'm not sure I've seen him fight. Have you seen him fight?
I saw him fight interview. I've seen him fight twice. I remember he fought a black guy, and he like shot, and the guy dropped his hand, and he fucking came over and clocked him.
I saw a highlight.
Yeah. So that guy, and it probably has the best chance of, I think,
that's how Khabib
being a big star
knocked down Conor. Same thing.
Absolutely.
I saw a little highlight of it recently. Like, watch this more closely. And Khabib, like, he sort of fakes that he's going for a takedown, and his eyes scream takedown. Connor starts to defend it, and then if I remember, it was some sort of overhand, right?
Big one. Sat Connor on his ass, and Connor's looking at him like, "Oh shit, that's a bad look. You're not supposed to hit me." I imagine so many outcomes, but never you actually hitting me with your fist. Oh my god, that was a shocking moment. So yeah, I think they're also unifying the bantamweight belt, because Nunez retired. I don't even know who those gals are. I think it might be Grasso, the foot girl, fighting some south of the border chick who doesn't speak good English and has man face.
What weight class is this in numbers?
135, I believe. Oh,
135 is the highest I'll pay attention to. 145? There are so few women who are 145-pound athletes that it just turns out to be like soccer moms fighting each other for UFC titles.
Yeah, it's fat girls, and like poorly shapen women. It's like, oh man, you're so tall, but your hips are weird. Like, what happened? Like, and then Chris Cyborg, and that's it. And they made Nunez. That weight class for Chris Cyborg. Well, Nunez can do that, but it's yeah, you could have cut some weight here.
Nunez beat Cyborg at 145.
I know. It was it was an incredible fight. Beat that woman had never lost a fight, or at least was on some streak.
I watched it again recently. Yeah, she beat the fuck out of her. Anyway,
yeah, it's a quick fight.
Strickland fighting DDP is a really interesting fight to me, so I'm looking forward to it.
TKO round 4. Round 4. Championship rounds.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm like, there has to be a reason people aren't holding Strickland down and beating him. It must be difficult.
Perhaps we'll see. I like DDP. Either one of them, I'm happy with being the champion of that, because Adesanya is going to be there in the ring, and he's going to step in there and cut a promo with whoever wins. That I bet a lot of money on. That's happening.
I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't bet against you on that.
Adesanya is like the guy who knows how to sell fucking pay-per-views. He's going to step in that ring and start saying some awful shit like he did the last time. Remember when he stepped into DDP and was calling him the N-word? Like screaming the N-word in his face in that really awkward moment.
My favorite Adesanya moment was when he made fun of help me with this guy's name. It's not Poirier, it's the giant dude who knocked Israel out.
Oh, Pereira,
thank you. And when he mocked Pereira's son.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a great moment.
That's pretty awesome.